In this video, I'm going to practice a little bit. I'm going to do a few shots, maybe 20 shots with a 7.9, and I'm going to show you after each shot how I'm analyzing it. So you can see, how I'm going about improving everything. We have something running here that's going to show you the horizontal impact. So that's horizontal is whether you hit toe or heel. Vertical impact is whether you hit high or low on the face. And I will talk about what I'm looking for there. It's a very good proxy for ground contact. Face to path, that's whether the face is too open or close to the path. And then club path number, that's whether you're swinging out to in or in to out. There is an offline there as well, so you can follow along with that.
Now, to visualize what I'm looking for, in terms of lateral strike, toe or heel, I'm looking about either 6mm toe to 6mm heel, so a 12mm window, and that's reflected in this picture here. And then I'm also monitoring vertical strike, which is how high we hit on the club face, and I'm looking for it to be between the 3rd and the 5th groove. So this square here is a good representation of that. Anything inside of that I'm going to deem as a good quality shot. Anything outside of it, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad shot, but I'm personally going to calibrate it because my level, I need to really refine that. And directionally, I'm looking about 10 yards either side of the target, left or right. To make it easy to visualize, I'm going to put little boxes around the numbers here. So anything in green is going to be good. Anything that's yellow needs attention, and anything that's red, I'm going to class as fixed now.
So, okay, I've got a line down the range, so that's my target, but I'm not hitting towards the green. That's just the way my standardized testing has gone so far. Right, and I'm not going to edit this as well. So, right, I should be quiet now and just hit a shot. Okay, so first one of the day, pretty good. That isn't my first one of the day, I'll be honest. I hit the line. My first one of the day, I've hit a bunch of wedge shots. So I hit a few 100-yarders, a few 60-yarders earlier to warm up. That is something I'm keeping track of as well. So, all right, so that one, the horizontal strike is 1.1 from the heel, basically centered, 4.1 low on the face, so just inside the range that I'm looking for. Path was 1/2 degree in to out, and club face a little close to it. Now, a lot of you might say, well, why did that shot not curve left then if the club face was close to it? Well, there's a lie angle component as well. I tend to come in a little toe down, and so that will make the 3D face a little bit more open. So one or 2 degrees close for me is actually pretty close to what I need. Good strike again, felt good. Tiny bit, it's not right. It'll tell me how far right it is. 2.6 yards right, so that is about, what's that, 6, 7, 8 feet right. Nothing really. 1mm toe, so again pretty flush. 4mm low on the face. Sometimes the numbers slightly change here. They are matching there. It says 4.3. This gives me more granular data. And then the path, usually when I hit a shot like that, I'm not worrying about face or path. I just try and repeat what I just did. Now I know just on the feel of that was too high on the face. So that'll give an opportunity to talk about vertical strike. Now when you strike too high on the face, that's going to be some form of fat shot. Now it says 1mm low on the face. Now, lots of people say, well, that's not high on the face, is it? Well, I want it between 4 and 12mm low. My ideal is like 8mm low on the face. So that's too high. If I want 8mm low and it's only 1mm low, it's still too high. So be careful when we're not going for zeros when we're talking about vertical contact. Now, toe and heel, that was 0.0 horizontal, so I don't think I can strike the sweet spot, the middle of the face, as much any better than that. Direction, it was good, so I'm not worried about face to path there. My path was 0.7 in to out. Okay, so I basically just try and repeat that with trying to hit a little lower on the face. I did not. It's a bad one. We're going to throw that in. It is quite hard, by the way, chatting about all this while hitting. Most of this is usually done unconsciously. So again, even though it's a bad shot, I'm going to analyze, right, what went wrong there. If you look at my path, it's pretty much the same, 0.3 into out. I just left the face too open, right? 0.6 open. And when you add that toe down, that's just too open for me. Is it a horrendous shot? I don't like it being 14.6 yards offline. It says 16.3 there. I'm guessing this is taking carry, and that's taken with roll. Okay, that's fine. So I just need to close the face a little bit more for that. Strike was good, less than a millimeter off the heel. Vertical contact, it was fat again. So that was too high on the face. Right, so I'm going to try and pick it a little bit more, hit it lower on the face. Overdone it. It's going to be too low on the face. Good shot though, I'll take the outcome. But I just lost a little bit of distance from being low on the face. So path was good, face to path was better, shot outcome was better. Toe and heel, again, nothing toe and heel, 0. But 14 low, that's like a pro thin, so it's maybe 1 groove too low. Again, I'm looking for 8 millimeters low on the face. So it's about a groove and a half too low. Same thing, felt a little heely, that one. Not horrendous, but maybe a little low on the face as well. Actually, you know what? I've misread that feel-wise. It says it's 2.9 toe, 3 toe. So basically, that's nothing. But it was just too low again. This is why it's important to get feedback, because that almost felt heely to me. And sometimes thin shots do feel heely and sound heely to people. Now, shot quality, I'll take that all day. Again, a groove and a half low on the face. I'm just overdoing the change. The previous ones were too high on the face. So I'm going to try and go somewhere in between with the depth. That felt good. Maybe a touch high on the face if I'm being super picky, but I don't know. We'll see now. Oh no, 9.9 low on the face. That's ideal. That's like a millimeter, 2 millimeters away from my ideal. 4 toe. 4 millimeters toe. Now, how far, what is a millimeter? Well, between grooves is about 3 to 4 millimeters. So that was 1 groove off the center. So really it's nothing. At my level, I'm looking like around about 6 millimeters either side of the sweet spot. I don't even bother changing for that really. Directionally, that was good. Okay, I'll just try and repeat that. Little heely or low on the face. I think it's going to be more low than heely. Did feel like so a little thin again, groove low. Vertical was 10.8 low, so not bad. 4 millimeters heel. Maybe it was that combination of a little low, a little heel that made me exaggerate both components, or it felt exaggerated in my head. Not a bad shot. I just try and repeat that. Face direction, I mean, what was that, 10 yards offline? Its face was a little open. 10 yards offline at this distance isn't bad, though. It's not the end of the world. Again, I would just try and repeat that one. Felt higher on the face, that. Tiny bit to the right, 9 yards to the right. Okay, so there may be a little pattern emerging there. I talk about the difference between, I listened to on a podcast, a different podcast about life, and they were talking about the difference between just repetition and iteration. So they were saying that repetition is just mindlessly standing there trying to repeat the same thing. Iteration is where you analyze it and then you make small changes for the next one. So it is repetition, but there are small changes involved. So, you know, I will try to open the face less for the next one. Strike-wise, 0 on the face. I'm having a really good day with face strike today, of 0.4 of a millimeter, so like a third of a groove off the toe. Nothing. 2.9 low. It was a little high on the face, probably a groove high, 1 to 2 higher than what I want. So I'm going to try and pick it a little bit. Yeah, felt lower on the face, maybe slightly heel. I will take the direction. That direction was good. 6 yards offline to the right. Not bad at all. I will take that. I'll be 18 feet away. Maybe a little bit more, 6.9 it says on there. 20 feet away, not bad at this. So 12.6 low on the face. So again, groove low on the face. I overdid the change. 2.2 heel. So I'm having a real good day with face strike today, toe and heel. It's not really something I have to focus on right now, although I'll talk about it in a moment. For that one, I didn't verbalize beforehand, but I tried to dig a little deeper than the previous one, because the previous one was a groove low on the face. It was 12 millimeters low. I tried to dig a little deeper, and we got it less low on the face. 8.8 millimeters, 9 millimeters is perfect. That's ideal. 2.1 millimeters heel, nothing. Right on the center. That's about as flush as I can hit it. Then directionally, what have we got? 3.7 yards right. Don't have to worry about that. Now, every shot of this, I have a tendency to miss left, right? You wouldn't notice that looking at my patterns here. Most of them have been to the right. We'll have a look at the average in a moment. The reason why it's right is because I'm actually consciously trying to open the face. You don't see that, but I am trying to open the face because I know my pattern is to tend to hit it left. So if I know my pattern is left, I'm going to try and do something to counter that. I may just be doing too much of it today, that's all. So I'm just going to take off some of the face opening move that I'm doing. You may also know that I tend to set up at the heel of the club. That's because my tendency is toe. Remember, the ball doesn't know where you set up. If I set up at the heel all day, but I'm flushing it like that, just keep doing it. In fact, that's a conscious decision for me to set up at the heel, because I rarely hit the heel. I know I'm going to hit the heel for this next one now. Yep, did. No, it's a little low on the face. 0.2 heel is centered, but it was too low on the face, 14.7. So really, if you look at all the last shots, I'm focusing more on the depth, or that seems to be the thing that's changing from shot to shot for me, is where I hit on the face vertically today. So yeah, that's fine. That's just my focus for the day. Okay, let's try and get the right depth. Try and go a little deeper than that last one. Yeah, it was definitely deeper. Maybe too high on the face. Nope, 6.8 low is perfect. I'll take that all day. Still going, it's still a little slight bias to go to the right. Not too bad. That's very unlike me, but I'll just take off some of that face opening move. It's not a bad shot though. 4.7 yards right is nothing. So again, I'm going to try and go after that depth again into the ground. Oh no, my screen's gone off. Please don't stop recording. Okay, there we go. That was good. I didn't do any trickery there because that one went left and you saw it. 9.3 left. Okay, there we go. So I finally got my normal pattern. Hopefully this is still recording. No editing for this, just doing it straight up. That one spoiled the pattern, look. It's the first one that went left. But I look at the strike. So strike quality is my first priority. Bang on the sweet spot. 0.2 horizontally. 7.2 low on the face. That's ideal. Absolutely ideal for strike. Just close the face down a bit too much. Maybe I shouldn't have taken off that face opening move. We'll give it another go. Yeah, added a little bit of face opening there, maybe too much. It's this constant calibration process of just, I mean, it can be summarized as take the fault and find the opposite. That's what I'm summarizing it as. That's what I'm doing in all these shots. So take the fault, a little low on the face maybe, a little right. So okay, I'm going to take some of the face opening move off. Gotta be careful I don't overdo it. And then try and dig in a little bit deeper. It's quite unlike me to hit it thin, actually. Yeah, okay, maybe a tiny bit too thin again. That should be in range, though. Yeah, 9.7 low isn't thin. So we got the direction good again. So even if you're hitting it well or hitting it poorly, doesn't really matter. You analyze it the same. How was my strike? 0.8 of a millimeter toe. So good. How's my ground contact or vertical strike? 10 millimeters low, so good. And then what was the direction? Direction was 0.0 offline. Okay, so good. All right. Another one. So again, trying to hit a little deeper than my instinct tells me today. Might go a touch left, that one. Yeah, not too bad. I'll take it. 10 yards left, 10.3 left there. So 10 millimeters toe. There's the first. Oh, I've just knocked that. That's going to throw my stats off now. All right, let me go in and just delete that one. You saw that. That was a little nudge there. I got to delete that last one. There we go. Delete selected. There you go. Yeah, that was 10 millimeters toe, that last one. I didn't see the rest of the stats, actually. We'll go and have a look later. That's my usual pattern, though, a little toe. But it went a little left, so I'm going to try and weaken off that right-hand grip again, just so it doesn't go left. Felt good. It's not going left. Yeah, good direction. So the grip weakening helped me open the face a little bit. Strike felt good, maybe a little too high on the face. What was it? Yeah, vertical impact 1.3 low. So that's like, it's about two grooves too high on the face for where I want it. 3.4 toe, that's nothing to worry about. Again, anything like 6-7 millimeters either side is good. What are we up to? One more shot now, another couple of shots. So what do I have to change for the next one? I gotta try and pick it more than that last one. It's going to be one of my worst ones. Yeah, I picked it. By the way, when I say pick it, what I mean is just like, imagine clipping it cleanly off the grass a little bit. You could also just move the ground contact forwards a little bit, and that won't, that will lower the strike on the face. So that was 13.4 low. So right, somewhere in between those two now. Somewhere in between those. Strike, toe and heel was great. Offline, maybe a little right, but I think it was more thin that caused it to go right. It's high on the face. That's okay. I'll take it. It's within range. I'll hit another one just to make sure we got enough shots in there. So I'm going to open the face a little bit more. Strike was perfect on that. 0.2 toe and 7.5 low. Absolutely ideal strike. Just open the face a little bit more. All right, that's a good one to finish on. Yeah, tiny bit right. What does it say? 6.8 right on there. 5.4 low, so it's in the range, 4 to 12 millimeters of what I'm looking for. 2.7 heel. So today, the analysis of that is face strike was great. Toe and heel, that wasn't a problem. Normally, I'm more toe-y than that, and I have to battle it, but every day is a new problem. The problem for me directionally was good. I mean, let's have a look at the stats here. Let's jump into the, where is it? Here we go. Directionally, it was 3 yards right on average, which is not much. I mean, that's 9 feet. 6.8 yards standard deviation, so a little higher than I normally have. So yeah, it's kind of unusual. I tend to miss more left, but hey, every day is a new problem. Kind of figured it out a little towards the end. But I take that. That's a good standard deviation. Not my best, but a good standard deviation there. Distance-wise, carry 170, 5 yard standard deviation for distance. So not great. Again, I could definitely do better than that. Usually I'm like 2 or 3 yards standard deviation. And let's have a look at the strike stuff. So on average here, we've got face impact that was 0 toe. So basically centered on average. And 8 millimeters low. So those are the averages that I'm looking at, right? Those are the things that I'm really trying to master. Get the average to be 0 toe or 0 heel, right in the center. 8 millimeters low, it's perfect. That's right in the middle of my 4 to 12 low range. Now, standard deviation, a little bit below this. That tells me the consistency. So I had a standard deviation of 3 millimeters toe and heel. That was a little better today than normal for me. But the vertical is 5 millimeters. That was a little worse for me than normal. And you could see that I was struggling, or you could hear when I'm verbalizing, I'm struggling a little bit with the vertical contact. Now, if we have a look at how many are in my ideal range, most of them are. So struggle is a strong word there, but it was my focus definitely. Path, we've got club path of zero point 0.4 in to out. I don't want to say that puts to bed because I did that on Instagram recently, but it definitely shows that's a pretty neutral path, right? 4.4 degrees in to out is almost neutral. And I wasn't even aware of my path there. That's just what's happening today. My path is very neutral. I tend to hit it quite well when I'm hitting it neutral. And you can see the standard deviation, left and right, were fine. There was no issue with that. So everybody who thinks, oh, you have to swing in to out and curve the ball one way towards a target. I mean, if we have a look at these spin axes here of the ball, spin axes, I got right, 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 left, right, right, left, right, 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 right. I mean, there's a lot of rights in there today, quite a few lefts. That, and again, that's unusual for me. More usually, I see more of a kind of a mix of spin axes, 50% left, 50% right. A little off today with that, but so what would I say I have to go off and improve? I would say maybe I've got to try and close the face half a degree more on average, which again is unusual for me. I got to try and close the face a little bit more. I know people are looking at this thinking, oh, well, look, the face is 1.1 closed. You're missing out the lie angle component of that. So it was a little toe down. That's going to open the face out more. So it's not as close as it says there. I base it on the outcome, right? If your outcomes are missing too far to the right, you need to do something to close the face more. If the outcomes are missing more to the left, on average, you need to do something to open the face more. So a just very small tweak needed to the face. By the way, path consistency there, 0.5 degrees for path and 1.1 degree for face to path. So very consistent numbers there. And then strike wise, it was just a little inconsistent. I was over exaggerating my fixes. You know, I would hit one a little thin and I say, all right, I got to dig a little deeper for that next one. And then sometimes I'd overdo it. So I would be working on closing the face a little bit and working on my consistency of arc depth control, you know, the vertical contact on the face.
The point of this video is to show you how I'm analyzing golf shots, and if you want to learn to do this yourself, I've got a free mini course with cheat sheets that you can print or save to your phone for use at the range. So click the link in the description or scan this QR code on the screen now with your phone. You see it in the golf ball. So on the left hand side now you see the faults that I was tracking. So we've got a balance of fat and thin shots. You can see there were 4 fats, 4 thins. Now these aren't awful, they're not bladed and chunked. They were just enough to make me want to change it. And then there was one toe shot that was 9 millimeters. Again, not a bad shot, that might lose 5 to 10 yards or so. With good strategy, that would be okay. And then there was one big left shot in there. I think it went 14 yards left. So from that data, I can say that ground contact or vertical strike is the thing that I want to improve the most there. Now, no golfer is free of faults. Even if Tiger Woods in his prime was here hitting shots, I would still be monitoring, and we just use different guardrails really, or different boundaries of acceptability. So effectively, every shot can get better. It's just a matter of finding out what needs to get better in your shots. Here's a visual representation of the strikes that I hit. So you can see there are a lot in the desired box. When I was outside of the box, it wasn't by a lot. But there's a balance of patterns as well. And, you know, some are high on the face, some are low on the face. If I was just mindlessly hitting shots, you'd probably see more of a bias one direction or the other. So I would likely see that most of my shots would be high on the face if I were mindlessly hitting. However, because you saw me actively, consciously calibrating. What I mean by that is I'd hit one high in the face, and then for the next one I would try to intentionally hit lower on the face. You see more of this balance of patterns. And that's the goal really with practice, is to make sure that our patterns don't get biased overly in one direction or the other. And this is really what I call the hidden secret of good golf, is that if you just looked at those patterns, you say, oh, Adam's pretty good at striking. But what you don't see is the thing that I verbalized during the video. It's like, oh, that was a little toe, I'm going to try and hit it more from the heel next one. Oh, that went a little right, I'm going to try and close the face for the next one. I'm constantly going through that process, at least when I'm practicing. In this specific pattern here, I was quite good laterally, toe or heel. I only missed one outside of my range, which is unusual. But I did miss a few more vertically than I would want to. Some more were low and more high on the face than I would usually see. Usually I'm better at vertical and less so at horizontal. But you know, every day is a different problem to solve, and we just have to figure out what is happening for us on a given day. So to summarize this video, look at vertical strike, look at horizontal strike, look at direction, give yourself boundaries of acceptability, and then change when your shots go outside of those boundaries. And if you want to dive deeper into how to change strike and direction, I have in-depth programs on my website. The accuracy plan helps with left and right misses, and strike plan helps with toe, heel, fats and thins. Go to adamyounggolf.com to learn more.